Hello, my name is Anne-Marie Cannon, and I'm the host of Armchair Historians. What's your favorite history? Each episode begins with this one question. Our guests come from all walks of life. YouTube celebrities, comedians, historians, even neighbors from the small mountain community that I live in. They're people who love history and get really excited about a particular time, place, or person from our distant or not so distant past. The jumping off point is the place where they became curious, then entered the rabbit hole into discovery. Fueled by an unrelenting need to know more, we look at history through the filter of other people's eyes. Armchair Historians is a Belgian Rabbit production. Stay up to date with us through Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Wherever you listen to your podcast, that is where you'll find us. Armchair Historians is an independent, commercial-free podcast. If you'd like to support the show and keep it ad-free, you can buy us a cup of coffee through Ko-fi, or you can become a patron through Patreon. Links to both in the episode notes. No, dear fellow. That is not the music to acknowledge the shit show that this year was. I have my piece to say, and I do not intend to let 2020 take a curtain call with any happy, upbeat ukulele music that will pair nicely with the Thomas Benjamin Wild Esquire song in the episode outro. That would be an insult. To Thomas and to you. Anne-Marie here. First, let me begin by apologizing for the absence of last week's episode, and to tell you why I was unable to produce it. An explanation of which will in due time bring us back to the shit year that 2020 was and the theme of this episode. It turns out that as I was going about checking off holiday-related planning and execution activities from my list this season, the vision in my left eye was taking a vacation. I won't get into all the details, but I will say this. There was pain, terror, a harrowing drive over Loveland Pass to an emergency eye exam, an MRI of my brain, intense intravenous steroid treatment for 5 days in a row, followed by a preliminary diagnosis of myelin oligodendrocyte glycoprotein optic neuritis, MOG for short. And finally, the realization that this uninvited guest, MOG, will be one of my companions as I enter through the doorway of 2021. It's a shit end, but I wouldn't expect anything less of 2020. If 2020 were an animate object, I would take it out back behind the shed and do what they used to do to lame horses, without compunction. We have all been through the ringer. 2020 has taken so much from us all. It would be an insult to our shared experience to sugarcoat it. We went through it together, often at a distance and virtually, and whether we set out to do it that way or not, there is something inherently powerful in that fact, the truth of which will make itself known for years to come. I'll tell you one thing. Moving forward, we will never be able to look at a face mask again without thinking of this year, without on some level remembering the profound loss of human lives due to the pandemic. Toilet paper will always be an inside joke to those of us who lived through the pandemic, and Zoom will always remind us of how we were forced to pivot the way we interacted in order to stay connected. Mom, we can't hear you. You're on mute. 2020 is bleeding with references that are being cast into the future through alchemy, and, like a time machine, will show up as historical footnotes on the futuristic landscape for years to come. I would like to sit here and tell you that, in spite of all the horrible things that happened to us this year, there was a lot of good that came out of it, and I would do it all over again for those benefits. That would be a bold-faced lie. Also, let's refer back to the beginning of this. 2020 does not get any credit, for the good things that came into being this year, in spite of it or because of its shenanigans. The only people who get to take credit for the good that happened And there was quite a bit, is you and me. Because while 2020 was busy taking one continuous shit, it was you and I who made lemon out of lemonade. It was you who found new ways to connect with family and loved ones. It was you who made a decision to wear a mask to protect your community. It was our friends in the UK who made the decision to make a small difference by joining Clap for Our Carers. And in the US, we went out and howled for our healthcare workers. Well, because we're not as polite as our neighbors across the pond. It was my family and friends who are parents of school-aged children that adapted to the new pressures of providing an education to their children during the pandemic. It was a lot of hair pulling, a lot of crying, a lot of anger, and a lot of giving up, and then picking ourselves back up. That was all us, my friends. Take a deep breath. Tomorrow is the day after the apocalypse. The horizon of 2021 looks like a lovely sunrise. So let's appreciate the beauty we see as we walk into it. Because if 2020 taught us anything, it taught us that we got this. In spite of it all, some really good things did come into my life this year, like putting this podcast out into the universe and the numerous delights it has entailed. So it is with a wary, beaten down, and trepidatious hope that I look towards the future and all it will bring into being. Cue the music. Thank you for tuning in this year. I look forward to sharing more guests' favorite histories with you and new fans of the show as well. For this last episode of 2020, I brought back one of the first guests to the show, my great-nephew Finley Gregg. Finley was with us on the first 3 episodes. And if you haven't done so already, I highly recommend you go back and listen to them. They are delightful. In that very first episode, Finley and I discussed the pandemic. We were just 2 months in. I had the opportunity to check back in with him a couple days ago. Unfortunately, due to some technical issues, Armchair Historians is proudly upgrading its technology, but there were a couple of glitches, one of which included a loud, annoying echo. So we talked a little bit about that, and then we do a year in review and look at the future. Hi.
Hi.
It worked!
Wow. Yes.
Yes. Whew.
Phew.
So, what do you want to talk about first? Do you want to talk about 2020 and 2021, or do you want to talk about your history?
I want to talk about 2020.
Okay. So, how was your 2020?
Good.
That's all you got to say about 2020? It was good?
Yeah.
I think 2020 was a load of doggy doo-doo.
Yeah.
What happened in 2020? What were some of the big ones?
Some of the big ones was I really wish I got to go to school. Yeah, school. Because
Why didn't you go to school?
Because the virus and there was a case in my school.
Oh, there was.
Yeah.
Just one?
Yeah, one.
But you weren't going, so you weren't exposed to it, right?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so there was the virus, and do you want to talk at all about that?
Yeah. The virus is so tough. The virus is super tough, and yeah, I really want people to go back to school and Yeah, because most schools are closed during coronavirus.
Well, let me ask you this. How did COVID change your life this past year?
Because of I don't like wearing a mask because your whole face gets itchy. Yeah, there's a lot of things.
Why do we have to wear the mask?
Because of it covers your face from the virus.
It's an annoying thing, but it's a good thing.
Yeah.
How else did COVID change your life?
We can't go out anywhere. Like, we can't go to restaurants and stuff. Like, we can't go anywhere during COVID.
So how does that make you feel?
Crazy. I don't like it. I don't like it.
But you do get to go outside because you live in a really pretty mountain area, right? So you get outside. You're not like stuck inside in a house in the city, right?
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you had to change and do to entertain yourself?
What do you mean?
Well, you know, your mom, she always has like a full schedule for you guys. You travel in the summer, you go skiing in the winter.
I wish like we were able to. Like as soon as I get the vaccine, I'm traveling.
Where are you gonna go?
Maybe see my baby cousin.
Oh. Well, okay, let's talk about that. So some crappy things went down because of COVID.
Yeah.
But there were some really good things that happened in 2020.
Yeah. One of the things is that I got to spend time with my family more than just like because during school, like I can't see my family, and like during school now I can just like see my family every second of school. It's a good thing.
So tell us about the new baby.
She is super small, and she has dark hair.
What's her name?
Millie Lee.
Millie Lee. So you have a brand new baby cousin named Millie Lee, and she's your first cousin.
Yeah.
She is the daughter of your mother's brother, and he lives in Pittsburgh. He is my nephew, so Millie Lee is my great niece. Like, you're my great nephew, she's my great niece.
Wow.
So have you seen her? Have you Zoomed with Millie Lee yet?
I have Zoomed with her like 100 times.
Every time you can, right? Every chance you get.
Yeah.
So when you said you would like to travel, and then I said, where would you go? And you said, I would like to see my cousin. You were talking about Millie Lee.
And like travel to Europe and stuff.
I'm with you, brother. I'm totally with you. We had a big trip planned to England, which you know how much I love England.
Yeah.
We were going to go for 3 weeks in May, and then we had to cancel it because of COVID.
Yeah.
Tell me something else really good that happened in 2020, not too long ago.
Vote. The United States vote. Ballots.
So who did we vote for? Who were we voting for? The president?
No. We're voting for Joe. G-O.
2020, we had to vote for the president. And who did we pick?
Joe Biden.
So when we talk about him now, we should say President-elect Joe Biden, because that's his honorary title.
Oh.
And then the thing that I was really stoked about, most especially in all of it, was who is our vice president?
Kamala.
Kamala. Do you know why I'm really excited about that she's the vice president?
Why?
Because she's a woman, because I'm a woman, and it's the first time we've ever had anybody in the White House that was a woman.
What?
And that means that's the first time, yeah. Believe it or not. And not just that, she's a woman of color. And that is like even more incredible. It makes me feel hopeful that anybody could be president, that, anybody could be vice president.
Yeah.
That's what it means to me. So, okay, just to recap, COVID sucked,
Yeah.
right? For the most part. You got a new baby cousin,
Yeah.
Millie Lee. We're so excited about her. And we have a new president and new vice president. So those are the three big ones, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, was there anything positive? Like, I know that it really sucked, but was there anything positive that came out of that happened during COVID for you because of COVID?
Maybe that. I did get to see my friends, but just the ones in my pod, that 3. That's like all my friends. 3 friends.
So what you're saying is that you got to, even though you didn't get to see all the people you usually see, and that was really frustrating for you, you did get to spend some quality time with 3 of your closest friends because you guys had a pod. And that was a positive thing because you just got to deepen those relationships. I think that's a really good point. I mean, sometimes, I guess what I'm trying to say is sometimes really bad things happen, but then good things come out of bad things.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to look at those and try to figure out what they are and be grateful for them. So, anything else about good things that came out of it?
Not really.
If you were going to say something to 2020 as we leave 2020, what would it be?
It would be and I wish this virus wasn't a thing. So everyone can go back to the places that they were at.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that looks like it's something that's we'll move on to the next question about 2021. Now we're going into 2021, and one of the other things we didn't talk about, but you alluded to, was the vaccine. We have a vaccine.
It's awesome that we have.
So what does that mean? What does that mean for us?
That we get to travel maybe and go places, go to stores and stuff. Go to places that we haven't been, mall. Yeah.
But we have to wait a little bit, right? We still have to be careful until everybody gets vaccinated, right? Can you do that? You think you'll be okay with that? Because
yeah,
you know what to do?
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to in 2021?
This is something, it's about, a little history. They're going to release, gold and silver coins in 2021. Gold and silver United States of America coins.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's in Pittsburgh.
Where they make them in Pittsburgh?
And it's a company.
And are you going to get those coins? Are they like for collecting?
Yeah. And the funny
Okay.
thing about them is that the dates are 2020 and 2021. Both, so we can remember about the stinking virus.
That's crazy. Anything else you're looking forward to?
Just school. Just going back to school because I can't wait to see all my friends at school, like all my other friends.
Right. Anything you want to say to 2021?
I really hope in 2021 this virus is gone.
Okay. 2021, did you hear that? I hope you did. You got a lot on your shoulders right now. I've been thinking a lot this week about 2020 and the idea of how it is history. And so I'm wondering what you think. How are we going to look back on this pandemic, 2020?
It's probably going to change all the people that are right now. It's probably going to change their lives coming ahead of them.
Do you think that this will be in the history books? Do you think that they'll be talking about the 2020 pandemic in history books and we'll study it?
I think so.
What do you think people in the future are going to say about 2020?
I think their ancestors, like us, are going to be what is a pandemic? Because they didn't experience it. But they would have to look through books.
Do you realize you are making history this year, being alive during this pandemic and all of experiencing all the things that happen, and then we're going to get a vaccine?
Something about the virus is it's more common for grown-ups. Like the kids, it's not effective to them. It's not that effective.
There was something else that I wanted to say about the pandemic is that I'm 57 years old. I'm going to be 58. So I've been around for a little bit. And I have never lived through anything like this before, ever.
Yeah.
And the fact is that we all have gone through this together. We all have this shared experience.
Yeah.
And I just think about that and the fact that even though it sucked, it really, really sucked. It was like we were together and we went through it and we weren't alone and we were all having very similar experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought there was something really, really cool about that.
Mm-hmm.
You just got your own computer, didn't you?
Yeah, and you're on my new computer right now. I'm on my computer. I'm so glad. It didn't just beep and then just started when we started recording. Yeah, that was a pain. Yesterday.
But you know what? It helped me to figure out the problem. So thank you for your patience with that.
Welcome.
I really enjoyed talking to you. You know what I'm really looking forward into in 2021? I'm looking forward to being able to give you a great big hug.
Yeah. So my last thing about 2020,
Yeah?
this is like how I'm ending it, this podcast off.
Okay.
Wear a mask, be safe, and wash your hands. That's all
It's still very important advice, and I think that's a great way to end.
Yeah. Hasta luego, amigo.
All right, buddy.
Hasta luego.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That's a wrap. Bye-bye, 2020. Don't let the door hit you in the butt. And as we part our ways with that nasty, nasty year, I have a special treat. Thomas Benjamin Wild Esquire recently released the following song, which pretty much sums up the past year. Do yourself a favor and go check him out at tombwild.com. He's an amazing musician, and he has an amazing YouTube channel as well, and you can also find him on social media. Links will also be provided in the episode notes. Happy New Year!
There's nothing anyone can do, there's nothing anyone can say. There's little can be done right now to make this go away. Cliched simple platitudes do naught to quell the dread, and the breadth and gravity just send me crawling back to bed. It's useless in this moment to say we'll get through this somehow. There's time enough for action, but that time isn't now. Soon we can start planning for what may come to be. But what I could really use right now is a bacon roll and a cup of tea. I don't need positive affirmations, I need to scream and bawl. The unrealistic expectations won't help with this at all. This is shit. Well, this is shit. I'm not expecting answers because they're out of your remit. I'm not looking for solutions, just for someone to admit that this is shit, this is shit, this is shit. You're trying to be helpful, and that is always nice. But right now all logic only great, so don't try to give advice. I need someone to rant at who'll not judge or take offence at my incessant fucking swearing and my unfiltered sentiments. So stop the pragmatic interventions, just nod and say you'll understand. Pretend I'm not being an unreasonable arsehole and hold on to my hand. This is shit. Oh, this is shit. I'm not expecting answers because they're out of your remit. I'm not looking for solutions, just for someone to admit that this is shit, this is shit, this is shit. So let's all sit and just quietly get pissed and drunkenly attempt to overanalyze all of this. We may now be bidding the old times goodbye, so let's not feel too embarrassed to have a bloody good cry. This is shit. Well, this is shit. I'm not expecting answers because they're out of your remit. I'm not looking for solutions, just for someone to admit that this is shit, this is shit, this is shit. Well, this is shit. Oh, this is shit. I'm not expecting answers because they're out of your remit. I'm not looking for solutions, just for someone to admit that this is shit, this is shit, this is shit. Well, this is shit. Oh, this is shit. I'm not expecting answers because they're out of your remit. I'm not looking for solutions, just for someone to admit that this is shit, this is shit, this is shit. Oh, this is shit, this is shit, this is shit.